Do you want to be more present in your everyday life? Make the main thing, and tackle any challenge that comes your way. Our next guest, David Pollack, was a 3-time first-team All-American, first-round NFL draft pick, author of Everyday Counts, and podcast host of See Ball, Get Ball, and Family Goals. Please welcome our next guest, David Pollack. Okay, welcome into the Spark session, David Pollack. I'm so glad to be with you. Hey, Coach, how is it going?
Absolutely. Doing good. Thanks for having me in. Not a lot of people call me Coach when they introduce me. I like it.
Well, you know, I get to see you at North Oconee High School as a coach, so I feel like I can call you Coach.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite thing about coaching? Let's start there.
Probably the impact you get to have on kids. I mean, you get a chance to, try to give something to them. Listen, it's kind of like parenting. They're not all ready for it, and they're not going to take it in
That's
every time
true.
you say it. But I think bringing an attitude of being the same, being consistent, being in their lives, showing them what it looks like, day in and day out, having fun. Like, I think that's one thing that coaching, it's a struggle sometimes because you toe the line of wanting to be great, but still wanting to have fun, and showing them that you can still have fun and bring energy and be the same person every day. I think that's definitely something we take pride in.
I think that's a really great reminder for everybody, whether you're an athlete or a business professional, that every day is supposed to be something fun. You're supposed to do something fun. We were just talking about Enneagram before we got on. Tell me about your book, Every Day Counts. I love the title.
Well, it's interesting. I'm not a writer. And this definitely didn't make me leave the experience going, man, I want to go write another book. Like, that's not the experience I had, but
it's hard work.
It definitely is. But just, we've been through a lot of stuff, me and my family, and my wife's been with me every step of the way along this journey. And we've had a lot of setbacks and a lot of things that I think people would look out on the outside and be like, man, why does that happen? Like, aren't you upset that happens? And I think God's shown us throughout our journey, like, He's for us, and He always wants good things for us. And sometimes He's going to teach us these lessons that don't look like what we want it to be, and it's not as fun as we want it to be. But every day counts is kind of what you just talked about. But like, how do we make every day count? Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow hasn't come yet. Like, how do we work on today and win today? And I think a lot of times that means creating a scoreboard, right? Like, we got to create a scoreboard for life. We got to create a scoreboard for today. We got to be very intentional with the way we live. And when we're very intentional and we take those steps and we have those goals, we have a good chance to make every day count.
Right. I had a client one time, and I love that sports analogies play so well in the business world. So client was very focused on franchise development for a large conglomerate. And he said, we got to put points on the board. Like, every day, we got to put points on the board. And so I think that there is this transferable knowledge or skill from what you've experienced on the athletic field and in teams and locker rooms. But how do you see this grit mentality, this everyday counts mentality? How do you see that play in all arenas of life, not just what you do for a living?
Well, there's a reason that over 50% of the CEOs of the major corporations are ex-athletes. Like, it's not a surprise, because when you have to wake up and you have to be disciplined and you have to be tough, and then guess what? You have to learn to work with a team. You've got to learn to lose because of someone else. You got to learn to pick someone else up when they're, struggling. So all the sports, everything about sports is transferable to life, not just business, to life. Like, we learn how to fail consistently, because that's what sport is. Sport is you're consistently lining up. You fail, like, okay, I got to fix it. You fail, I got to fix it. You might do one right, but then you're right back to next rep. And so I think it's learning to clear the mechanism and go right back to the next. Right back to the next. And that's kind of what it takes, because it's, there's not a difference between success and failure. Like, nothing should change. Like, when I approach something and I go do something, like, whether I succeeded or whether I failed, I should look at how it went, and I should look at what can I learn from it. Like, what went right? Sure. What went wrong? Sure. But it's not about like the outcome. It's like, how could I have done something better during this process? What could I take away that I make sure that I need to refine? Because here's the thing. When you win, a lot of times you don't think you need to look in the mirror. You don't think you need to change something because I won. But if you're looking at this like, hey, this is a strategy, and let's look at the journey. Let's look how it went. Okay, well, this didn't go great. Why didn't it go great? But a lot of times we don't look at that. We look at the end result, and that's all that matters. And it's not how it should be. And the more we can change our brain to understand that it's not always about outcomes, it's about the process of doing it, then I think it really helps us.
Man, that's so good. Andy, my husband, always says, draw a circle around yourself. Like, the only person that you can control is you. And then recognize that life is a game of failures. Like, you're just gonna fail. And you got to get comfortable with that and okay with that and learn from that. So I think that's spot on. Davey, I was working for Claude Felton, who's the football SID at the University of Georgia, your senior year at the university. Take me back to that time. What was it like to be a first round draft pick in the NFL? Like, did you know that was coming? Was that always your goal?
I definitely had a dream to play in the NFL, and it started at a very young age. And I think once you get more competitive and you start, going on your journey, your goals change, and you want to be as highly drafted as you possibly can. And you work, and that's what you work towards. And so football was always something, man. I knew it at 4 years old. When I was 4,
really,
my brother was 6. And he was playing on the field, and they didn't let 4-year-olds play. But my parents will tell you, like, I was running up and down the sidelines. I thought I was in the game. Like, I was tackling coolers and chairs. Like, I was tackling everything in sight. And they literally said, like, I was just waiting until I turned 6. And then because I knew I wanted to play football. So it was always something that was in me. It was always something I felt like I was created to do. And listen, God's taken me in different paths, but it's definitely always something that will continue to be in my life because it's freaking awesome. Like, it's one of the most fun things ever.
I love that you said that.
Well, I mean, it's just awesome because, like, it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how long your arms are. It doesn't matter if you're the best, athlete on the planet. Like, you just got to get it done, and you got to find a way to do better than someone else. And here's the cool thing. There's 11 of you. It's not just one. It's not an individualized sport. And you fail because of others, and you win sometimes because of others. And learning how to get the most out of your teammates and learning how to bring it every day and stuff, there's such a fun art to it, and it's such a great game that teaches us so much more about life than anything else.
I love this idea. Coach Rick actually told me this a long time ago when I was working at Georgia. He said, only let your kids play football if they eat, sleep, breathe, and dream it. And I was like, that's a lot of pressure. But I feel like football is one of those sports that kind of gets into your soul almost.
In your blood.
Do you feel like that? In your blood.
Yeah, it is. What I would say with that is, like, I think Coach Rick's probably talking about college kids, like, when you're young, it's about fun, and it's about, like, just going out there and trying to find a way to have fun and succeed. And but no, football gets in you for sure. And it's just, and listen, people talk about all the different areas of life when people stop and what happens to them. And the divorce rate is very high. The bankruptcy rate is very high for football players because this is such an adrenaline rush. Like, it's such a high of high, and it's teams. How do you not love working together with other people and, trying to become great? And you build these bonds with people that they ain't even close to like you. Like, and you might not even hang out with them.
Yeah,
you might not even hang out with them. Like, you might not hang out with them at all, but that's your dude now.
But
like, you're going to go to war together with them. Yes.
Right.
And so we're going to go, get things done. So it's a fun sport, but yeah, it definitely gets in you, and the competitive element gets in you, and then the stage gets in you. And honestly, it's hard to get it out of you.
Well, you bring up a really good point. What comes after football? When you think about that, and you've faced a ton of adversity, maybe share a little bit about what happened to your neck injury and your career ending. Did you see yourself doing anything after football before that happened? And what was that journey like?
Oh no, I had no plan B. I had no parachute. Yeah. Mine was football. So, my second year in the NFL, I hit Reuben Dromes, running back for Cleveland, and broke my neck. And that was it. Like, that was my last snap. And I think that what I realized quickly was football makes a terrible God. And I was someone who was chasing. And my spare time, man, like if I could go get it, I'd go get extra running, go get extra lifting. And that was my main purpose. That was my main goal. Everything else took a back seat to it. And God was like, yeah, watch this, big fella. This ain't going to last forever. I am. Your marriage is more important, so
Right.
you quickly put into perspective. And I had a 2-year period of rehabbing with, halos and neck braces and surgeries where, had a lot of downtime and just God continued to work on me and just to show me like, my relationship with him should not be transactional. It's not transactional.
Yeah.
It's not when you get time, holla at me. Like that's not, and I did a lot of that, like in the morning before a meal, but my heart was with football. My heart was with my sport that I was pursuing. And so God wants your heart. And I think when you lose something like that and it's taken away and it's gone, like what the heck are you going to do next? And so that was it was an awesome moment for me. The Bible says, be still and know that I am God. And being able to have some slowdown and to get rid of some of the busyness, the hustle, the bustle, everything that goes on. I started to develop some good things in my life, some good rhythms in my life that grew me closer to him and changed my world, which was awesome, man, because like I wouldn't go back and I wouldn't want a Hall of Fame career. Like I would want exactly what I had, because to get that at 22, you talk about growing up fast, like
Yeah. That's
fast. I mean, you get slapped with some adversity early in a young age, and we all have those scars, whether they're physical or whether you can, see them or not. But those moments that really define us and refine us and bring our character to where we're going to be, and to help us move in a direction of growing closer to God. And that was definitely one for me.
Your faith was always prevalent. I feel like even in your college days, you were known for that. And so it's just to hear the fact that God continually gripped your heart, even in the adversity, and even, I mean, talk about your faith today. How important is that to you?
I mean, that's the most important thing for us in our family is our faith. And, it's taken a while and it's to understand it and to learn it and to get where we're at. It definitely wasn't a one day I was like, hey, I'm accepting Christ and this is who I am. Like there's a process in your relationship with God. It's called sanctification, and God's going to use experience and people and all the things that you go through to learn and to grow. And we don't have it figured out, but we just know that's number one in our lives. And I think a good analogy, if you haven't heard this before, but like my wife's here, I'm here, and we're both putting God first and chasing God. And as we chase God, we grow closer together. And that's how your family grows. Like we grow together more, but I think that's what, that's the most important thing. And that's gotta be number one. And then all the other things that are fun and awesome and great, like they're a part of our lives too. But I tell people when I go speak, like we got to make decisions before we make choices. And what is the decision of your family? Like, where are you heading? Where are you going? What is the most important thing? And keep the main thing the main thing. If that's the most important thing, let's not miss Sundays. Like, if that's the most important thing, let's get in small group. If that's the most important thing, let's get up in the morning and get a quiet time. Like, if that's the most important thing, that's what we'll do. We'll make it a big priority, and we're trying to make that a priority and trying to live it out. And we're not perfect by any stretch, and we continue to stumble. But, because me and my wife have made that decision, now it makes the choices easier. And that's what I would say to people out there. Like the choices become easier in the moment when I've defined who I am. If you like, for example, in college, like I was not going to have sex before I was married. That's not something I was going to do. I made that decision. So in a moment of temptation, like I've already defined who I am. I'm not going to drink alcohol. Like I've already made that decision. So when my buddies are like, hey, have a sip, I'm like, I've already made that decision. Now there might be a choice in there still with temptation, but it's basically creating standards. When we created those standards in our lives and those things and those principles we're going to live by, now it makes it easy to stick by it. But if we're kind of just like, hey, this is cool, this is fun, we're just kind of floating by, like then you can kind of fall for different things in different moments.
I really love how you talk about the principle of making a decision before the choice is before you. I think that's a really powerful framework from which to to live and to make choices, because if you're not doing anything out of identity, and it also makes me think of the rocks analogy, you put the rocks in first, then the pebbles, then the sand. Like,
Yep.
what are the things that are the most important to you? And I think
And you have to define them.
Huge. Yeah. Define
Like,
them
you have to
early.
define them. You don't just, like, yes, you can live and you can hope that it gets there, but you have to define them and put rhythms in your life that make you go that direction, right? Like, how do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. Well, a lot of times you get to the top of the mountain, you're like, dang, I want to be on that mountain. Right? I'm on the wrong mountain, right? Like, yeah, I mean, so like, I think it's alignment directly affects assignment. Like, whichever way you're aligned, you're going to go. So make sure you're aligned in the direction that you want to go and you want to do and conquer.
Do you feel like you've always did somebody give you that framework? Did a coach or your parents, like, who kind of taught you to live life in a direction like you're talking about?
I think I've always had something in me that has been like that. And I'll use an example. Like, when I was in college, I'll never forget, I moved to defensive tackle and I'm trying to learn all this different stuff. And coach is telling me to get off the ball with a short first step really quick, stay low, use your hands, disengage, go get the ball. And I'm like, whoa, like, that's a lot. And I'll never forget, I remember I looked at our GA and I was like, hey man, I'm just going to get off the ball really fast with a short first step. And I realized I'm not smart enough to take it all in. Like, I really just need one step. And I think that's a part of everyday counts. It's starting where you are, using what you have, doing what you can, right? Like, I had to start with step 1 and then I had to master that. And then I would get to step 2 and then I would get to step 3. So like, to me, I kind of knew like that was the only way I could win. So that's kind of what I did, but I didn't know I was doing that until I got older. And then I realized when I got older, and then you get fired from a job, and you're like, okay, now I'm at home. What rhymes and rhythms can I build in? Broken neck. What did that teach me? And I think you've kind of learned structures for you. And just like for me, a non-negotiable. Like this morning, I got up. I get in the sauna every morning for 20 minutes. Like that is my time to go. It's great for your body getting in the sauna, but that is my time to go spend time with Jesus. Like, I am going to pray, and I'm going to get still, and I'm going to think. Like, because the busyness of this world is about to encapsulate me. It's about to come for me, and everything's going to be crazy. Like, I need some time with my dude. Like, and I need to get focused on what's really, really important to me. And so I think I was born with a little bit of it, and then you start to refine it and develop it and understand the importance of it. And then you don't want to finish.
Well, yeah, I love that, David. Talk about being a media personality. So obviously you're running 3 podcasts right now, and you've been given tremendous platform, I think a lot, largely because of your decision-making framework. And God's just calling on your life. But you were an analyst, a host on ESPN College Game Day. What's it like being in the media and on this side of the game?
I hated it when I started. When I started, I was not a fan of the media, and it was more the negativity of the media. The people that you're like, dude, you don't even know what our team does. Like, you're talking about stuff that it doesn't make sense, and so you kind of get some kind of way about that. And then you realize, like, I can be a good one. Like, I can be on this side and have integrity and call it like I see it. And but it's definitely not something I ever thought I would do. But now being in it, like, you kind of enjoy it. It was a great way for me. It keeps me close to the game, and you get to talk about it, and then you get to learn, and also, like, it's not something that came natural. Like, it was definitely something that took work. And okay, what is I was okay talking about my team, but then now I got to talk about everybody's team, and now I got to go learn. Like, you got to do a lot of learning and a lot of studying. You 100%. You got to go back to school. Like, and especially if you can't bull crap. Think about Georgia fans and how dialed in they are to everything. You can't bull crap them. They watch it. Like, so the same thing with Nebraska, and the same thing with all these other schools across the country. They love them. So, like, you've got to bring them actual knowledge and actual things that you see, that you're watching. And so it's fun, man. It's been awesome to learn it, to grow in the industry, and to figure it out. But I definitely think that, me and my wife have talked about this before. Like, it's kind of frustrating because I can get frustrated at times because everything I do requires talking. Everything. Like
Does your voice
coaching,
get tired?
podcasting, like everything we do requires energy and effort and like being engaged. And so,
Yeah.
that sometimes you're like, all right, baby doll, like I just don't want to talk tonight. Like I just want to sit here. I just want to chill. And then 3 minutes later, I'm going to talk. But like, you definitely learn what God's gifted you. And I think the biggest thing about like directional change in your life is a lot of times God's redirecting you for a bigger purpose. And I've seen him change my purpose. And, it's the 3 A's for me, like anytime, anywhere, any place, like where does God want me to be?
I feel like that's honestly a really good husband hack is like, you do the talking, honey. Like, let her do it. Let her talk.
Yeah.
Is Lindsay a talker?
Lindsay's not a talker. That I would say, like, I think for most women, like there's a lot to learn about in books and stuff, but my wife's a dude, and I say that to her. Like she's
You
just
got to learn your spouse.
100%, but she is just chill. Like my wife doesn't need a lot of, she wants to do things herself. Like she is just, nothing bothers her. I've very rarely ever seen her lose her temper in the 25 plus years, 26 plus years we've been around each other. Like
That's
she's
awesome.
she's just chill. And it's crazy. My son is her and then my daughter is me. So you watch it get passed on and you watch the personality traits. It's pretty funny.
Oh, I mean, we say that too. Like we each have a child. Like my oldest is my husband and my youngest is me. So it's great. You get one of each.
Yep. No doubt.
And we didn't have to go to zone defense, with 3. So there's blessings in everything. Do you have any like memories of those days just being on college game day? Anything stand out to you? Any advice you were given that you would pass along to this day about, interview skills? We talk about in the media, you have a lot of sources. I'd love to know just kind of what your takeaways are from that season.
I think Coach Corso, he would laugh, and he's got such a good spirit about him. But I'd never forget he had that number 2 pencil in his hand, and he's like, "Hey, football guy," and that's what he called me. "Hey, football guy. Hey, it's entertainment, sweetheart." Like I think
funny.
Me coming on, I was so young in the space. Like I hadn't been on television for more than like 4 years, and I'm on College Game Day, like 3 years.
Yeah.
And so, but I really wanted to prove that I belonged. But I think you learn just like everything else, like this is a team, and how does the team function together? What's your role? Like stay in your role, right? Like stay in your role. Like I think a good, was it Doug Collins for the Bulls? Star in your role, know your role, star in your role, stay in your role, right?
That's
like,
good.
And so kind of figuring out what
Do
you
your
are,
job.
who you are. Yeah. And it grows and it changes and it morphs just like on a football field. Like when I'm an upperclassman, I become a senior. Like I'm a leadership role, or a junior, I become a leadership role. But I think learning how to communicate, Kirk always tried to put lipstick on a pig and tell me to dress up. And I'm like, Kirk, I'm not a dress up guy. I'm just not. Like I'm a defensive lineman. I'm sloppy. But like Reese was really, really good. And developing a friendship with him was fun. But like you kind of learn bits and pieces from everybody you work with. But it was such a fun time and a cool experience to go all over the country and learn about all these different fan bases and how they support their team. And you kind of take your squad and you go in enemy territory every week and you learn something new from all the different guys, and you put it in your tool belt and you continue to use it.
That's awesome. So as you're talking all the time on podcasts, like what's your favorite thing about being a podcast host?
I think anytime we get to share our faith is awesome. We love doing that. We share a lot on family goals about parenting and just like things. I like to share things I'm screwing up because I ain't got this figured out, not by any stretch, and just how hard parenting is and keeping God at the center of it, and how hard a marriage can be, and all the different things that come into life. And then football, I mean, I love talking all of it. Like I love talking to the players. I love talking to the coaches. I love talking about the sport and the direction of the sport, and talking to people that are passionate, because there's so much passion in football. I mean, there's so much passion. It's just so much passion, and people that love their squads and stuff. So it's all fun. I mean, it's all enjoyable. Like as long as we're not doing it every day, all day, which is what we got to learn, right?
Yeah, there's balance in all things. It's a super passionate field, both sports and media, I think. NIL, I mean, that's a big deal right now. It's a big deal in college recruiting. I think you have a documentary, if I'm not wrong, that's coming out on NIL. So how have you seen that change? And then maybe talk a little bit about brands and how they work with athletes and how they interface with the sports world, because we're in that world a lot.
Yeah, NIL is, first of all, it stands for Now It's Legal. Like, it's existed for a long time. I got paid when I was in college. I admit it. I always do. I don't care. It's kind of, it's not like it is now. But the thing about this new world is the documentary that we did. I came in with a set of like ideas and background, and I'm very tied in with the sport and know all of these guys. And I was blown away because my mind started to kind of shift. But our documentary purpose was to teach you everything about NIL you ever thought you needed to know or wanted to know and didn't want to know. Like, it's literally going to be, we're not going to tell you what to think, but the good, the bad, the ugly, and we're going to give you every single perspective, the Power 4 perspective, the lower perspective, the AD perspective, the player perspective, the commissioner's perspective, like everyone's perspective, legends perspective, like Coach K, like, I mean, just everything known to man. And so that's what we try to do. But the brands question, man, like it's kind of cool to watch people to be able to build their brands. And I'll be honest, when I started in this business and people started talking about my brand, it would piss me off. And I didn't like it because I'm like, I'm not a brand. Like, this is who I am. I think the biggest thing with me is like, I'm not going to compromise or change who I am. That always, like, I'm not a brand. This is just me. Like, I'm just doing me. But I think you've seen in sports, man, and the brands, like, they're understanding who to partner with, how to partner with. I think one thing that's kind of cool is you've seen people understand how to get their voices out and not like make them a spokesman, make it funny. Right? Like, make it satire, make it like, I think everybody's doing a better job of getting some fun things out and making it not as rigid, and it doesn't have to be as scripted or as like this in a box. It can be a little bit more fun. And I think that goes a long way. Yeah. I mean, listen, gambling is not something that I support. Like, we got offered a shoot ton of money, man, to do gambling on our podcast. And and let me tell you something, I wanted to compromise. Like, I literally was like, God, that's a lot of zeros. Like, I mean, right away I was trying to justify it. Like, I can get somebody else on my show. I'm like, this is your show, you idiot. Like, you're really going to compromise? And, but you got to find out, find out who you are, and you got to stay in who you are. I think when you're a brand, and when you're also the brand looking for someone, like, you better make sure you're partnering up with someone who's in your wheelhouse, that has your morals, that has your, cause like, people are going to say things and do things, and they're going to get attention. And everybody's got a mic. Everybody's a podcaster now. Everybody's in the media now because everybody got a microphone and everybody got a camera. Like, they got it in their hand. So you're going to get it everywhere.
Influencers are billboards. Yeah, they're the same. Yeah. And who you partner with, I mean, they may align with your brand right now, but you don't know if they haven't had that decision-making framework that you and I just talked about, you don't know what you're getting into necessarily.
Well,
but
we're not
if
perfect.
You keep it real, we're not perfect.
Like, I'm not perfect. Like, I'm going to mess up too. It's just like, what degrees, right? Like, I mean, but I said that to people.
Word. Right.
I mean, I say that to people all the time. Like, I want everybody to understand, like, I'm preaching to a message to you, and I'm trying to tell you to be the best version of you. I'm preaching that same message to me. Like, and I'm still learning in this journey of life. And so we're all doing that. I think the moment we think we got it figured out is the moment we're in a heck of a lot of trouble.
I love that. Carson has this big poster in his room. It says, it's hard to beat a person who never gives up. And I love that saying. To me, it's Galatians 6:9, like, do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest. So this idea of just one step after the next, every day counts. Like, maybe just wrap us up with your go-to message to whether it's athletes that you're coaching, your kids, your community, who parents that you're talking to on the podcast. Like, what's your big challenge? David Pollack.
I think the way I always like to talk with people in speeches and stuff and kind of end it is like, hey, shoot your shot. Yeah. Like, what if you're waiting for every I to be dotted and T to be crossed, like, you're going to be waiting a long time. And there's never a perfect time to go pull the trigger and chase something. There's never a perfect ride. Like, there's gonna be ups and downs, and it's gonna be difficult at times. And so I think, like, pull the trigger, go, do. And what I've seen God do in my life is God starts to crystallize it, and God starts to go, okay, this is what you're made for. Because I've there's plenty of times where I've been like, I was made to be a football player. Oh, I was made to be a commentator. And now it's like, no. That's not why God made me. God made me in his image to go be an image bearer, to go point people to him. Like, and how he chooses to use me and how he chooses to direct me is his decision. It's not mine. But I think the most important thing is starting, is going, is doing. And then you start to realize, like, okay, I'm going in a direction. And then you start to, find the details that make you great. But don't be afraid to go. Don't be afraid to shoot your shot. Don't live in fear of it's got to be perfect. There is no perfect anything. There's no perfect marriage. There's no perfect relationship. There's no perfect job. But I do know I serve a perfect God. And, like, that's our choice, and that's my choice. Like, how do we continue to pursue his greatness, to accept his grace, to give his grace? Like, that's one thing too, that, if you're going to accept that grace freely, we got to give it to other people. Like, we got to forgive other people that are doing things, and that one thing I'm trying to do a better job as I get older too, is like, hate the sin, not the sinner. Right? Dislike the sin, not the sinner. I don't like that in what they're doing, and what that thing is, not the person. The person's flawed just like me. Person.
Right.
Yeah. And so, and that's something that we're learning, like, as we get older too. But, like, shoot your shot, man. Go try it. Go towards it and chase it, and then watch what happens. It might be a windy road, but you'll get there.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on, David Pollack. It's so fun to get to see you in a professional setting, as well as on the sidelines and in the stands. So we really appreciate having you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.